Our story begins in the museum's Hall of Paleontology. Here, gigantic fossils from millions of years ago give us clues into one of paleontology's great mysteries, the death of the dinosaurs. By 250 million years ago, giant reptiles like the Dimetrodon flourished. Later, in the warm oceans of the Jurassic, plesiosaurs became speedy ocean predators. On land, the plant-eating Stegosaurus thrived. This Cretaceous sea lizard, buoyed by water, grew as heavy as a Tyrannosaurus rex. Meanwhile, the Quetzalcoatlus became the world's largest flying creature, with a wingspan over 10 meters. Tyrannosaurus rex, the lizard king, dominated the late Cretaceous. With jaws and claws, he terrorized giant herbivores like this Triceratops. After reigning over life on Earth for more than 100 million years, these giant reptiles vanished, leaving behind more adaptable, warm-blooded mammals. Saber-toothed cats and giant short-faced bears flourished, along with the largest of the ground sloths. About 100,000 years ago, humans left Africa, walking on two legs, creating tools with their dexterous hands, and living together in tribes. They killed the mastodon and mammoth, tamed fire, and spread over the earth. As they conquered the planet, they began to explore the past, to wonder about the creatures who came before, why they disappeared forever. This is the museum's Paleontology Lab. With great skill and patience, paleontologists separate the remains of extinct creatures from their rocky tombs. These fossils tell us the size, shape, and structure of dinosaurs and other reptiles. They also provide clues about how these creatures lived and why they died. Mountains rose on the west coast of the Americas as ocean plates dropped beneath continental plates. From the Gulf of California, the terrain rises into the Sierra Madres as we fly eastward toward the Rio Grande Valley. The Sierras have isolated this land from the cooling and moisture of the ocean. We follow the Rio Grande northward into the Rio Grande Rift with the Sangre de Cristo Mountains on our right. On our left, the Colorado Plateau gives way to magnificent, multi-layered cliff walls, red hills, and mesas. The distinctive Mesa Montosa defines the terrain with its triangular shape, extending out from the Tussis Mountains. An area called Ghost Ranch lies in the valley below. Here, we have uncovered fossils of North America's first dinosaurs. Ghost Ranch hides one of the world's oldest and best preserved dinosaur graveyards, buried under layers of sand and mud turned to stone.
Layers of various colors show different weathering and different types of rock, with younger rock strata usually resting on top of older layers. These layers show that this area had cycles of severe drought and flooding. To uncover the graveyard here, we must dig, excavating where nature has revealed dark red siltstone, a desert tomb 210 million years old. This graveyard preserves one of the oldest known dinosaurs in North America, a meat-eater called Coelophysis. This rock layer has yielded over 1,000 individual fossils, almost all Coelophysis. For some reason, these dinosaurs gathered together, perhaps looking for water, and then died together. Lab inspection of slabs reveals that the adult Coelophysis was about the size of a large dog, a fast and deadly predator with powerful hind legs and a long, slender body. The long, narrow skull houses a mouth filled with sharp, serrated teeth and a double-hinged lower jaw for slicing prey. It ate almost anything it could catch, including other Coelophysis. The arrangement of these fossils and the sandy siltstone around them suggests that they collected like a logjam in a river. However, the extreme arch of these spines and necks shows that the bodies dried out after death, but before their watery burial. From these slabs, we can imagine a group of Coelophysis searching for water or food, and then trapped by a devastating flood. Current evidence only hints at the cause of death. It may have been drowning in a flash flood or dying of thirst as the land turned to desert.
Around 130 million years ago, the large landmass that would become Europe and Asia had reached its current location, and dinosaurs flourished in places like Liaoning Province in northeastern China. Our destination is the Shuetun Quarry, where the world's best preserved fossils of feathered dinosaurs and birds have been uncovered.
Located in northeastern China, Liaoning is famous for farmland and factories, and for some of the most important fossil beds in the world. Two vertical walls define this famous excavation site. A large metal and glass structure has been built to preserve a section of this historic quarry and to display fossils just as they were discovered. On the quarry wall inside, dark layers represent lava ash, deposited between other sediments. These rocks are called paper shales because each layer is as thin as a sheet of tissue paper. Some of the most spectacular specimens were crushed flat by the ash. Instead of mounting these dinosaurs as standing skeletons, we must imagine how they would look if they could crawl, swim, or fly out of the stone slabs. All kinds of animals and plants have been found here. Fish, leaves, and insects are the most common, but frogs, lizards, and turtles thrived here as well. This quarry is most famous for its birds and non-flying feathered dinosaurs. More than a dozen true birds have been identified. Some of the non-flying dinosaurs have feathers that look like those on modern birds. The ash even preserved the long, intricate tail feathers of this Confuciusornis. These fossil imprints tell each feather's shape, but not its color. The Liaoning Museum of Paleontology displays models showing feathered dinosaurs with the coloration of modern birds. These models also show that the feathers needed for flight evolved long before feathered dinosaurs began to fly.
East of the quarry, we fly toward North Korea. Our destination is a large, active volcano called Mount Pictou. A volcano like this one played a pivotal role in the death and preservation of the feathered dinosaurs and birds of Liaoning.
Birds like the Confuciusornis evolved from a feathered dinosaur millions of years before this scene. Fossils show that birds and other feathered dinosaurs like this Graciloraptor lived at the same time and would have interacted as they searched for food in the shadow of a great volcano. Although these flying and non-flying dinosaurs were predator and prey, their real enemy towered in the distance. 150 million years ago, Winding River buried thousands of dinosaur bones in sand and gravel. Today, this buried sandstone forms one wall of the Dinosaur Monument Quarry, formerly known as the Carnegie Quarry. Within it are more than 1,600 dinosaur bones. Nowhere else on Earth can you stand on the very spot where dinosaurs once lived and see so many of their bones still in their final resting place.
We follow the Green River south through Dinosaur National Monument to discover evidence showing how these Jurassic monsters lived and died. The Green River flows through deep canyons with swelling rapids and open parks where the river widens and the water runs smooth. It flows out of Dinosaur Monument just south of Split Mountain through the mountains of Colorado to its confluence with the Colorado River. Finally, we reach Utah's sandstone sculptures. Once, a shallow inland sea covered this land. Then, as the land rose and the oceans receded, massive red sandstone cliffs and arches began to form. Water continues to carve and recarve these shapes, reminding those living in the present that the future will be different. Here we also dig for fossil remains of the largest dinosaurs that ever lived. Footprints found at Copper Ridge suggest the sheer mass of these Jurassic monsters.
Drawn to shallow lakes and meandering streams, huge dinosaurs left their prints to dry and harden in fine-grained mud. Later, water washed sediment over the tracks, protecting and preserving them. A sauropod weighing well over 10 tons made these footprints. This dinosaur walked on 4 huge feet, each making a deep print in the mud. Over time, the sea flooded this valley, closing this chapter in the dinosaur story.
Following the Jurassic period came the Cretaceous. A tyrannosaur races a slow-moving crocodilian to scavenge a meal from the dead duck-billed herbivore. Later, a feathered dinosaur attacks a small mammal over a tasty clam, while a turtle plods toward them through the mud. Behind them, a triceratops challenges a ferocious adult Tyrannosaurus rex. Life was good for these advanced dinosaurs. With large brains and fast limbs, they left their slow-walking, eat-anything reptile cousins, like the turtle and crocodile, far behind. But this soon ended. Evidence suggests a catastrophic event that favored the more primitive and adaptable reptiles over their advanced dinosaur relatives.
A sudden and catastrophic event may have caused the disappearance of all dinosaurs in a blink of geologic time. In the Badlands of southwestern North Dakota, scientists have found a site with a continuous fossil record of the time when the dinosaurs vanished. A mysterious orange layer in the rock strata forms a boundary. The mudstone below it represents a floodplain deposit and contains the bones of many dinosaurs. In the orange layer are small glass balls that may have fallen through the atmosphere. A microscope shows quartz fragments shot by an explosion. The orange soil is rich in iridium, perhaps from a volcano, or perhaps from outer space. Above it, the non-flying dinosaurs have all disappeared. Today we can see the frill and one horn of a triceratops protruding from the rock layer. Perhaps the complete skull is still buried in the hillside. These fossils show what life was like before the mysterious orange layer fell from the sky 65 million years ago. Far south of the Dakotas, a 10-kilometer wide asteroid raced toward Earth. Its plunge through the atmosphere created temperatures hotter than the sun's surface. It landed in a shallow sea of sulfur-rich rock, producing a sulfuric acid rain strong enough to burn skin. Because of the low impact angle, much of the debris flew downrange toward North America. Oxygen levels in the air were 10% higher than today, fueling fires all over the continent. In the Badlands, a wall of darkness rolled in from the south, filling the entire sky. Soon a rain of burning rock set fire to the forests. Soot and floating ash could have blotted out the sun for months, possibly years. The fallout contained glass balls, shocked quartz and iridium-rich debris, all deposited in an orange layer. Up to 70% of all species, including the non-flying dinosaurs, perished, leaving only their bones behind as a warning.
Disasters also challenge us today, but we have better eyes for warning and more options for action. High overhead, NASA and NOAA satellites watch the Earth for storms, floods, and signs of volcanic eruptions. We can see ice caps retreating, rainforests disappearing, temperate forests increasing, and changes in ocean currents. We look for temperature changes on land and sea, and measure atmospheric levels of greenhouse gases. We monitor forest fires, volcanic plumes, and tsunami waves. We can track hurricanes from tropical depression to landfall. Each year, we know more about the condition of our world and are more prepared for survival.
While satellites watch the Earth, astronomers search space, looking for approaching asteroids. In 2004, they identified a near-Earth asteroid called Apophis, a massive boulder wider than 3 football fields. On April 13, 2029, Apophis will come within 3 Earth diameters of our planet, inside the orbit of the highest satellites. An asteroid this large comes this close to Earth only once every 1,500 years. In their deaths, dinosaurs give us a clear warning. We must understand and predict the changes happening on our planet and guard against threats from space. We are responsible for our own survival.